Recent opinion poll has shown that Kemi Badenoch for the first time has overtaken Keir Starmer in the opinion poll. Kemi is doing very well according to most experts in the opinion poll. The question that we're asking today is that as Kemi Badenoch as the next prime minister if she wins the next election, is it better for immigrants? Is that something that immigrants should be hopeful for? Today, we're going to drill into this topic because the poll shows that Kemi is now doing very well in the opinion poll. She's doing so well that even members of the Labour Party, they are starting to look for the next prime minister if the report in the media is something that we can all believe. As an immigrant living in the United Kingdom, are you hopeful, knowing full well that the person who could become the next prime minister, if things goes as is being speculated, could be somebody who comes from your ward? The polls show, according to Sky News, there is unease inside the Labour Party, growing disquiet about Keir Starmer. The economy is failing, the poor economic, the public doesn't trust Keir Starmer, and that is why, as some people have said, the Labour government have postponed the local government election a few times because they are worried that Keir Starmer is going to get a kicking in the poll. That is what they are saying. So people are now saying that according to the poll that you can see in front of you here, 26% of British people now have favorable opinion of Kemi, the highest on record. Also, 18% have favorable view of Keir Starmer. You can see that Kemi is doing better since Kemi became the leader of the Conservative Party. This is the first time that Kemi is doing so well that people are starting to take her seriously. Nobody is talking about replacing her again because they think that, as they got to know Kemi, since she started talking about issues of bread and butters, the issues that matter to the British electorate, people have started to pay attention to Kemi. 71% have unfavorable opinion of the current Chancellor, Rachel Reeves. This is very, very bad for Labour Party. While the Green, with their new leader, Zach Polensky, they seem to be doing very well. These are not rumors. These are based on sound opinion poll, which was conducted recently. Now, why does this matter to Africans? 71% of British say the economy has gotten worse since the Labour came to power. Only 7% believe things have improved. Historically, when the UK economy faced economic pressure, immigrant and tax policies tightened first. We also know that this is not speculation. You can look at what happened after the financial crisis of 2008, Brexit, COVID. The evidence is there. The person who is currently leading on the opinion poll, Nigel Farage. Nigel Farage is facing lots of investigation. He has been scrutinized lately. As the people becomes familiar with Nigel Farage, people have started to realize that apart from talking about deporting immigrants, Farage doesn't appear to have any policy, any credible policy about the economy, the NHS, social care crisis. It doesn't appear from what we are saying that Farage has any credible policies apart from deport. And people have started to say, look, when you finish deporting, what's going to happen? Is this this bread and butter issue? We know that if anything was to happen to Farage, if he was to have any shortcoming, Kemi's chances increase significantly. That is why a lot of people are now beginning to pay attention to Kemi and say, look, if 26% of British people, according to the poll conducted in December, now think that Kemi has a chance of becoming the next prime minister, and she has momentum. She has momentum now that she is in the upward trajectory. Things are going in the right direction for her. People are now thinking, how would if Kemi becomes the next prime minister of Britain, how would that impact on immigrants? Do you think that if Kemi ever becomes immigrant, do you think that there will be immigration policy that would favor people from migrant community? Or do you expect the hostile immigration policy that the last conservative government implemented to continue under Kemi? Are you hopeful that if somebody that looks like you, somebody that understands your worldviews, if she ever becomes the Prime Minister of Great Britain, are you hopeful that things could have a positive impact? Let me know what your views are, because as we are standing now, Kemi she's got a chance. She's got a chance. According to the YouGov poll, which was recently analyzed, the conservative voters, they have started to believe that, yes, Kemi Badenoch could be their Margaret Thatcher. Kemi Badenoch could be the Margaret Thatcher of the Conservative Party, because as people are getting to know Kemi, they are beginning to realize, they are realizing that, look, this woman, she's got a chance. This is good. And historically, when this happened, we know that, yes, there is a shot here that you could have Kemi Badenoch as the next Prime Minister of Britain, but a lot of immigrants are still saying, look, they would rather prefer somebody who is not from a non-African background, because they can tell that if Kemi becomes the next Prime Minister, life is going to be hell for them, because she will try to prove to the right of the party that, look, I am not going to take it easy with migrants. I'm going to go hard all. That Kemi will even go further than having a Prime Minister who is of European descent. People are saying that they would rather have somebody who is of a white background as the Prime Minister than to have somebody like Kemi, whose policy she will try to justify that, look, don't think because I am somebody who is of African descent that I'm going to let people into the country or implement policies that will favor immigrants. I am going to go hardcore. So the question that we are asking today is that, with the recent announcement that Kemi is doing well in the poll, are you hopeful? Do you think that, yes, if Kemi becomes the next Prime Minister of Britain, that, yes, her policy is going to benefit people from minority background? Or you don't care? You just think that as long as Kemi is, it doesn't matter who is there, it's still going to be the same thing. Meanwhile, Kemi has recently said that she does not identify with Nigeria. So a lot of people have told Nigerians that, look, you have to be realistic. Even if Kemi becomes the next Prime Minister of Britain, expect more, because she is not going to implement any policy that will favor immigrants. In fact, her policy will hurt migrants more. So it is better to have somebody who is of European descent as the next Prime Minister than to have Kemi Badenoch. Because Kemi said several times that she doesn't identify with Nigeria. In fact, she's on record to say she does no longer see herself as a Nigerian. Some people are saying that if Kemi becomes the next Prime Minister of Britain, then that means that Nigerian culture will go mainstream. Things like Nigerian food, amala, fufu, pounded yam, will be served in Downing Street. That's something that we should celebrate. That we should be happy that Kemi's got a chance. Why some people have said that, look, this woman, Kemi, look at her history. She is a right-wing politician. She would implement hardcore right-wing politician. That we need to be realistic. She will pull the UK out of the European Convention on Human Rights, and that means that a lot of people from our community are the ones that will feel the hit, that we should rather support a white candidate who is not going to go as far. That let's not just look at what is happening now with the current Home Secretary, who is of Pakistani descent, that she is implementing what the left of Labour Party calls hardcore far-right policies on immigration on steroid. Is what a lot of Labour members have described that a lot of the policies that Shabana Mahmood is implementing today, proposing to deport British citizens of immigrant background, that a white politician will not go as far as Shabana has gone. That the reason she has the audacity to do all these things is because she knows that nobody is going to accuse her of being a racist. Nobody is going to accuse her. You can look in the eyes of migrants and say, look, I understand, but I have to do this. So we should just be realistic that it is better to have somebody of European origin than to have somebody of African descent who is going to implement extreme right policies. At that time, we can't really cry, because you say, oh yeah, it's Kemi, your sister, she's there now, she's implementing this policy. You can't really accuse Kemi of being a racist because she is a black person, just like a lot of people from the Indian and Asian and the Pakistani community. They cannot believe some of the policies that Shabana is implementing, but nobody is calling her a racist because of her ethnic background. So the question that we are asking our audience today is that, with recent updates that Kemi's chances of becoming the next prime minister of this country has improved, she's doing very, very well now. Are you hopeful? Are you excited? Would you prefer to have somebody like Kemi there, or Nigel Farage, or Keir Starmer, or any other person? Do you think that Kemi will implement immigration policies that will favor people from minority background? Let me know what your views are. Kemi's chances have improved, but people from our community are saying they would rather not support her because they know what is coming when Kemi, if she ever becomes the prime minister of this country. Let me know what your views are in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. I will continue to bring